Oh, this is so weird. Like, I was just filming it just now and then. Okay, so I created this video mainly just to talk about how parents play a huge role in a student-athlete's journey, and it's not only about the student-athlete, but it's also about the support and maybe the downfall that parents have when supporting their students. And I hope this video can be educational and also just really informative to any either incoming parents or incoming student-athletes that are looking to play Trinity athletics. Is that good?
Yeah.
Chelsea sports joke, bro.
Why did the pitcher raise one leg?
Why?
Because if he raised both, he'd fall.
Good one. Okay.
Do I look at the camera?
This documentary thing is mainly just about student athletes and the relationship between their parents, some do's and don'ts that they should do. Yeah, just look at me. Don't look at me.
Okay. Sorry.
Just having a conversation.
Okay.
Alright. So how this is gonna work is I'm just gonna ask you a bunch of questions about like how your parents played a role in your student athlete journey, because you are a gifted student athlete at Trinity and you've been doing it a while, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Alright, so the first question that I asked you is, parents play a big role in Trinity athletics and also your journey as well. What's some things that you think a parent should do to help support their child?
Well, one of the things that I wanted to say was that like you should be very aware of like how you're encouraging your child on the sideline.
Yeah. I think they do a really good job of letting me choose how serious I am about the sport. I'm definitely more serious about like soccer and basketball, and I'm trying track this year, and they're very like low-key about it.
I think definitely show up to the games that your kids are participating in, or their meets or their matches. It really makes a big difference when you see your parent there, and I think just having that positive feedback and being there for them is just really special.
In my experience, it's been really important to just have a parent that like is willing to listen to what I have to say, especially if a sport is difficult or something is happening that, you know, is maybe not going my way. Just having a parent that's willing to talk to me about that and maybe just not try to fix all of my problems, but just being willing to listen and like try to understand kind of what I'm experiencing.
My next question for you is, what's some things that parents should like avoid for their student athlete? Like things that, you know, aren't supportive or anything like that?
I think parents struggle a lot to kind of remove themselves from their own child. I know a lot of parents who, you know, they played high-level sport when they were younger and they expect their child to do what they did.
It's really important to understand that parents do have a very strong influence, and my parents have for me. And that can be good or that can be bad. So, you know, if your parent is saying bad things about a coach or a decision that was made, that's going to negatively impact the child's view on the coach and on the team.
I think it's important to for the parents to let the kids have a chance to learn before they start judging too early. You know, like I took on soccer my freshman year, never played, and I also got asked to be the goalie. So like it's very new, obviously, and my parents were kind of like quick to judge. You know, they were like, "Oh, you got to work harder. You're doing this wrong." When it's just like I should have a few weeks or a few months or even a season just to practice and get better before get some hate.
If your kid is struggling in the sport and they're really not enjoying it and it's just kind of a downer on their life, don't force them to play. I think it's great to encourage your kids to try a sport, see if they like it, do something different, even if they're not kind of a sporty person. Just make them try, and if they don't like it, that's okay. They can stop.
I've seen parents kind of like pit their kids against each other. Like certain people will try to get their kid to beat the other kid, and then it creates like a lot of like a very tense environment between the like two teammates. And I think like, again, it's high school sports, like it doesn't have to be that competitive, and it's more about building like a friendship and teamwork.
Do you have any advice for like up and coming student athletes coming into the upper school or anything like that?
Yeah.
Or just want to take their training further?
Yeah. I mean, just if your parent is affecting you negatively, if they're like, you know, talking to your coach too much or talking to you too much on the sidelines or whatever is not helpful, like don't be afraid to tell them like, hey, that's not helpful, you know, like in a respectful way.
I think you should be confident enough to just try it. Like give it a go. You're not going to be judged. Trinity is not all focused on its sports, so give it a go. It'll be good.
I think I would try a sport and stick with it because you build really meaningful friendships and relationships with the people on your sports teams and your coaches. So even if you're not the best at it in the beginning, I would still recommend sticking with it because it can be a really fun experience.
Sports have been made such an impact on my life. It's really shaped me into who I am today. It's made me more confident. I feel like I've made so many more friends through sports, not just at Trinity, but at other schools too. And it's just been a fun way for me to stay active, and there's so many benefits to it that I think everyone should get into a sport, even if they have never played or it's totally new. Just go for it.
I guess to not limit yourself to one sport. I think I grew up doing track and field, and that's it. I think definitely giving your kid the opportunity to do other sports like tennis or swim, or let them go outside of what maybe you did when you were older. Let's say as a teenager you were really good at tennis. That doesn't mean that your kid is going to be, so let your kid explore their own path in sports, and don't try to directly live through their wins and their successes in sports.
I think my parents have always been very supportive. They've always allowed me to do what I want and to, allow me to cross boundaries that, they didn't push me towards, but what I wanted to do myself. They've always encouraged me for commitment and, to try my hardest. And I think that's something that, comes with everything in life, not just sports.
But your parent wants you to succeed, and sometimes they kind of lose sight of what is the best way to help you with that. They just might not know. So just don't be afraid to have a conversation with them and talk about, how you need to be supported.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully that was okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Hoping
All right. What's something fun that you did in your sport this year? What was your favorite sport? Honestly.
Ooh. I think this year, soccer was. Hold on, rewind. I think this year basketball was my favorite sport.
Why?
We would just the attitude on the bus was really fun. We took videos of the coaches snoring on the way back from a game. Pranked them during practice. Filled their water bottles with sand.
Yeah, what's something that you understand? Your child might not be good at the sport that you would play. So what would you do in that situation?
Well, I think it's important that the parents understand that some kids just they would rather play chess than to play basketball. I think not everybody's athletic. Some people just don't like to do sports, which is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a little funny bit in there.
Yeah.